and with me is Matt from Gamedec.
Hello everyone, and we
Oh,
are back
oh,
with a small delay. And with me,
yes, now it's fine. And how are you today, Matt?
Hi guys, it's nice to be here. Yeah, I'm always excited to give reviews or just talk about the game. So thank you very much for having me.
Matt, what can you tell us about Gamedec?
Well, Gamedec is an isometric cyberpunk RPG. In this game, we have no combat because we trust that a true detective shouldn't use guns, etc. But that doesn't mean that the game isn't violent. You will have to solve cases inside both real and virtual worlds. So basically, it's 22nd century. It's Warsaw City, and many people um, cannot leave the premises of cities because the nature is violent and it mutated. So it's very dangerous to go outside, and people were looking for some distractions. They wanted to have fun. Uh, the increase of virtual reality games just uh, made it very possible just to immerse into this virtual worlds. So they just spent almost every single
It's a strange profession.
free hour of the day
Gamedec.
when they are not working in virtual worlds. So when the games are so expanded, so realistic, they try to figure out how to dive deep into these games. So we have couches when you just lay down, and you just get totally immersed in the individual games. So basically, you feel what your character in game feels. There are some illegal games in which you can exceed the threshold of pain. So basically, in most of the games, you feel a little bit of pain if something goes wrong. But there are some games which are illegal when the limit is off. And if you get into trouble in a virtual world, you can ask for a game deck. So game deck is a virtual detective. So this is your job. It's a job title. So game deck is a detective, a futuristic detective who helps people in both real and virtual worlds. So, for example, if you think that your wife is cheating on you in a virtual world, which is basically a dating sim, you can hire a game deck just to try to figure out if it's true or not. The possibilities are endless because there are so many virtual worlds, so many possibilities to act or to behave very naughty. You can I don't know, blackmail someone because of something, and you might need help for just getting out of this ransom of this blackmail. Uh, so yeah, there are many cases in the game, and I don't want to spoil too much.
Yeah.
But basically, the best description of game deck we had from the reviews were that the game deck is cybernetic or futuristic or cyberpunk Sherlock Holmes in virtual worlds.
Ashfadel is asking you in the chat if you guys are fans of Shadowrun, the original pen and
Yeah,
paper RPG.
yeah, we get this a lot. And basically, our team is very interested in pen and paper RPGs. That's why we wanted to make game deck as much similar to a tabletop experience. So basically, every case in the game was played as a pen and paper scenario. We had our game master, some of the people from the studio sit down at the table, and they just try to uh, act like this is a pen and paper scenario. And we did this on various groups. So most of the ideas, most of uh, the ways you can expand the case, the ways you can solve the case, is inspired by the people who were playing these cases as a pen and paper scenario. And yeah, we get this a lot, that it's very similar to Shadowrun and other narrative games, excluding the combat, because we have no combat in the game, and that was done on purpose.
I think you also have listened perhaps once or twice that to me this game reminded me a little bit of Disco Elysium. I have to
Yeah,
Yeah, it should be annoying to be always compared to games, because you
Yeah,
have a
this
very it's a
yeah.
very the perspective that you gave to this game is it's so exquisite, because how did no one remember to use this premise? It's brilliant nowadays. A game, your concept of Gamedec is simply brilliant. It's fantastic. How did you remember? How do you got that idea of a detective inside a game?
Well, it's not our idea because it's based on a series of books by Marcin Sergiusz Przybyłek. He's a Polish author, and he was a consultant on our game. He has worked in Asha Studios to be sure that everything is in sync with his lore, with the game deck verse he created. There are many books in this series, and we focused mostly on the first two tomes because those are, I believe, the most focused on the detective work. Uh, and if you are interested, these books are available on Amazon in English, so you can just go and download it and read it. And as I said, it wasn't entirely our idea. We just developed some ideas which were brought to life by Marcin Przybyłek. But basically, we had a very solid ground to begin with. So basically, most of the terms in the game, of names of companies, names of the games, are just taken entirely from the books. So if some of the Polish readers read the books, they will have a tiny advantage in terms of how to understand the world better.
The when I got into the game, I felt like this was a bit overwhelming. But when I started playing it, it's quite simple to get into, because your first missions is like a tutorial. How hard it was for you to make this game simple enough for people like me to get into it?
Well, if you imagine that Gamedec is based on a series of books, and we wanted to translate it mostly into a pen and paper RPG, uh, when I was playing the first tabletop RPG, I wasn't given any tutorials and any tips, any glossary, etc. I didn't know what to do. Basically, someone asked me, "You're in the bar, and what do you want to do? What do you want to do?" And that was it. I didn't know the names, names of spells, names of items, etc. But we did something which is called guidebook, and it's available to download for free. So uh, if you're not entirely sure what the names are, who are the NPCs, and what concepts are in the game, we have prepared some mini book. It's mostly like in older games, like 20 years ago. You were buying some games in very big boxes, and there was a book, a simple instruction, a manual for the game. So we did exactly the same for Game Deck. So basically, we very much advise to read it for playing the game, so you will understand the concepts a little bit more. It's not long; it's very condensed. So basically, this is the starting point. You don't have to read the guidebook because it's not obligatory. You don't have to read it, but it will be easier to understand some of the concepts in the game if you do. And it's available on major platforms like Steam for free. It's available on our website gamedeck.com for free. So yeah, just if you have any troubles understanding the game, the guidebook should answer all of them.
If I when I tried the game yesterday, so I didn't come here blank. The codex, it's okay. It's not a guidebook, but the codex does a good role explaining some things. It's okay. It's a reading part, but for me, it was interesting to have it. How does the how different of if I made two playthroughs, how
Yes.
different can I get one from the other one? It's can I make a completely different playthrough, or there's always, or well, what I want to say it's
Yeah,
talk about the
I understand.
the replayability of this game, because it seemed to
Yeah.
me yesterday that it's huge replayability.
Well, basically, the order of cases is always the same. So you start with the twisted and perverted, then go to harvest time, etc. But the consequences, the outcomes of each of the cases, and how you treat the NPCs inside the case, or how you treat your employer, how many different choices you do in the game in terms of interaction. So you can go to some place and do something or not. If you do, you will have a different outcome at the end. Basically, almost every decision in the game impacts some parts of the game later on. So if you decide to be nice to your boss, to your employer, he will be more keen to help you in other cases if you meet him on the way. If you decide to, I don't know, kill some character, you will get some different outcome of the case, and you won't get this NPC to be in another case to help you out, or just to give you a very essential tip, or a clue, solve another case. So we strongly advise to read the dialogues and to carefully decide which options do you want to pick, because uh, it's always impacting the game. Maybe the impact won't be seen in another 5 or 10 minutes. It might be seen 2, 3, or 4 hours into the game, because we have some tags in the dialogues saying that this dialogue is a direct result of a decision you've made earlier. So if someone is trying to get his loved one or a member of a family from a game, and you do not succeed, and this person goes into a coma or dies, uh, then this NPC, your employer, won't talk to you anymore, and you won't get any tips, any clues for another cases. But if you help him, you might just get a very strong ally to help you on the way. But there are no bad decisions in Gamedec. You will always progress the game, but with different outcomes. We have different endings prepared, but based on your decisions, you will get access to some of them, all of them, or even just couple of them.
Mhm.
So yeah, some people just said that they have felt limited in terms of the endings, because they just got 2 or 3 endings available. But it is always based on the decisions they made along the way. So if you are not happy with the way the game went, try another one, another playthrough. Pick another, I don't know, decisions in this case, in another case. Try different aspects. Try to unlock different professions. Decide to, I don't know, kill off this character and save this character. Just see how many different outcomes you can have.
Okay, talk me a little bit about professions. What's the meaning of that mechanic?
Well, if you want to simplify, the professions are like this skill points, I believe. We have aspects. We have 4 different aspects you get from interactions and from dialogues. So if you are more keen to be brutal in terms of interactions and dialogues, so if you like to threaten someone, if you want to use physical force, you will get the red aspect. And similar to this, you get aspects for being smart, for being kind to people, etc., etc. Uh, this is not implicated in the dialogues because we didn't want people to pick a dialogue option based on the outcome, on the aspects they can get from this decision or another. We wanted them to play by the heart. So we wanted them to pick a decision based on how they would behave in a real world. So if you like to if you're nice to people in real life, and if you're nice to people in game deck, you will get some of the aspects correlated to being nice. And if you have enough aspects, you can unlock professions. So basically, you can be a medic, you can be a hacker, you can be, I don't know, a gangster, or a celebrity. And based on your profession picking, you will have another dialogue options available, some different dialogue options unlocked. You can get, you have past choices tag in one of the dialogues. This is what I was talking you before. But let's go back to the professions. The professions unlock dialogue options, not available if you're not if you haven't unlocked a profession before, or interactions within the game. So if, for example, you are a hacker, you can interact with computers, you can interact with some interfaces, you can hack into a device just to find a clue. It wouldn't be available if you haven't. But picking a certain profession mm, won't make you unavailable to progress the game, because there are some ways just to get the same clue, or some ways to end the case in a good manner. So, as I said, there are no good or bad choices, but if you want to have a positive effect on the case outcome, you can achieve it in on some ways. So basically, if you fail a hacker test, for example, and on one of the mini games, you can get the idea, or a clue how to solve the case in another way. You can talk with a different character, and manipulate him with the dialogue options, just to give you the name of the guy who shoots someone or something. So basically, you won't be locked out of progressing the game, even if you don't have the certain profession. We did a very good ratio on how a different profession are available in the game. So basically, if you go with a celebrity, you will have a very similar options, a number of options. In this case, proceed and to use this kind of profession. Uh, but having a profession unlocked doesn't mean that the option will be available in every dialogue. So it's just all based on the context of the dialogue. Uh, as I said,
Okay.
you gain aspects through interactions and picking a certain dialogue options. But if you have enough aspects, you can trade them for professions, and professions unlock additional interactions or additional dialogue options available throughout the game. Yeah, I'm talking a lot, I know.
No, 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 because it's important for the ones watching. They understand. The game deck was in the spotlight when it was released. The core idea was kind of different from other games. So uh, many portals and sites talked about it. So we know more or less the game, but your perspective it is very different than mine. For instance, I will would never be able to explain everything in the way that you are. I mostly just play the game, and some of the stuff that you are telling me, I didn't know. I have not noticed yet. I'm just trying to deduce stuff. Now I
Yeah,
have.
but
Sorry, you can go. Sorry.
yeah, as I said, that you don't have to know all of the mechanics, because most of them are just happening in the background. So you don't have to know that picking certain decisions in the dialogue options will give you some aspects. You don't have to know that. But we strongly advise just to check the profession tree from time to time to see if you have some aspects which will allow you to unlock some additional professions, etc. Because it will make the game maybe not easier but more interesting. But it is possible to finish the game without any profession unlocked. I was doing a release stream when on the 16th of September, when we have released the game, and I was picking a lot of very strange decisions in the dialogue options. I have messed up all of the interactions I could, not because I wanted, but it just happens. I have played the game several times, and I always have something I have never seen before. So this is what I like about this game. When we the devs sit on Twitch and watch people play the game, even if we have hundreds of hours into the game, our writers always have something dig up just to find for us, so the devs, but we have no idea it was possible to do, or we have no idea what this character can be spoken with, or just
Mhm.
what can we achieve just by doing some things different, because all of us have some certain play styles. So I like to dig around. I like to lick some of the walls and find all of the clues and find all of the interactions. And even if I do so, when I watch someone playing the game for the first time, he does something, but I have no idea what's in the game. And that is the beauty of Game Deck, because it's so expanded and so vast. It has over 300,000 lines, dialogue lines, so it's impossible to see all of it during one playthrough, because when you pick some options in the dialogues, it locks out some of the options were available before. I like to compare it with a marriage dialogue. Basically, if your wife is asking you if she looks nice, you have one option. You have many options, but when you pick, but yeah, honey, you look great, that's okay, and you move on. But if you pick that, no, honey, this makes you look fat, there's no way back. You cannot just revert this dialogue and go with a different option. So if you pick one option from the dialogue, it might have blocked some things out in the future. But it's okay. It's okay. This is how dialogues in real life work. So we understand that some people want to be 100% perfectionist and just finish the game in every way possible during one playthrough, but that's impossible in Game Deck, because this is your story. You are shaping the story of your Game Deck. So do not uh, I won't advise you just to save the game before the dialogue and then load the game just to do the same dialogue again, just to see how many different things you can get or how many different aspects you can get, because that's not the point. Uh, if you don't get an aspect from an interaction or dialogue, that's okay. Just move on. Just play the game. Just enjoy the game. Uh, as I said, there's very little chance that you will have a true two or three identical playthroughs. If you ask 1,000 people how they play the game, uh, the perfect scenario will be that they have all seen different things or done something differently. We had like the release trailer for Game Deck, in which we have show you three different approaches to solve one case. So three people in a bar just talking to themselves and exchanging some information of the same case, but all of them saw something different because the outcomes were different.
I've now on my first playthrough I tried to be just aggressive. Now I'm trying to be the good guy and I've messed up. I cannot. It seems like I cannot be a good guy. I've failed one. I will fail to unlock. I know what the right answer is, but I will not reach it in this on this playthrough. It's a perfect example of what you were talking about.
Yeah, if you go to the codex and if you read the parts on Timmy, so the person you are talking to right now, there will be some examples of his psychological evaluation, and you will learn that he doesn't like to be interrogated. He doesn't like police. He's very shy. It's very easy just to scare him off. So basically, you have to be kind. He likes game decks, so if he's asking something about your profession. So basically, if he asks about something related to game decks, just assure him that he has a chance just to be a game deck. It's a great idea to be a game deck, etc. And you will just pass the progress bar far to the right. But all of the locks in the dialogues, the locks on the left doesn't mean that you will get the bad scenario of the dialogue. Each of the lock is a secret to unlock.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you can get the same information if you push the progress bar to the right or if you push the progress bar to the left. And if you have enough clues unlocked, you can just use the deduction screen and figure out what is happening here. And even if you deduce that something is very different from, well, let me put it that way. The deduction screen doesn't answer the question what is happening in the game. It's answering the question what do you think has happened in the game, and those are two separate things because you might think that for example, the butler was the shooter, but it might turn out later on that it wasn't the butler, but it was the cook, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still solve the case. So basically, the deduction screen progresses the game, so gives you a certain feel that you know what's going on, but you will get the consequences later on. So basically, in Twisted and Perverted, so in the case you are playing right now, so like a father, like a son,
Yes.
uh, you are trying to get some information about where is Fredo. Fredo is the director Haggis' son. So the guy in red you were seeing a little bit before
Yes.
hired you to get his son out of a virtual world because he cannot get him out. So he's lying in the couch for 4 days, and his father doesn't know where he is. So you, as a game deck, has to get some clues or talk with Timmy just to figure out where Fredo is. And you can get the same information in a couple of ways. You can talk to people. You can deduce the surroundings. You can try talking with the lady in the chair. And there's a mini game involved. In if you decide just to go with this way, if you have some of the clues already gathered, you can deduce where he is. I'm very interested if you knew about this interaction before.
I've talked to the lady, but I did not know that she could give me any clues because I had the final deduction from Timmy on last playthrough. So probably my options here were different. I do not remember quite well. At
Have you
the moment,
tried?
I do not have the correct deduction.
Yeah, so let's try to do it with the lady. You can connect to the helmet, and you will
Yes.
just see the same as she sees, because she's in a virtual world as well. There's a second option in this dialogue, so you can connect to the helmet, and we can try to get the information from the lady.
You are a bit behind me, so let me try. Relation observer report. I see you're prepared.
Okay.
When I connected to her helmet, the image was transmitted to my lenses. I did this yesterday, but it was only with the sole purpose of trying to remove her from his her game.
Yeah, it's like a prison. It's like a limbo. So she is trapped inside some environment, and she can't get out as well. Just as Fredo. So yeah, you can, if you want, you can have some fun and try to do it your way, because it's always interesting
Yesterday I
to.
failed massively. I
Okay.
wasn't able to wake her up. uh yeah, I'm starlet, and I can seem to go to log out. and I can't seem to log out.
You can offer assistance. So
Yes.
you will just try to get her out of this limbo.
I've offered assistance, and again, it's that the mini game that you talked with the game bar, the mini bar. What? That's a weight off my shoulders. Analyze the problem and fasten start. Well, I know from previous dialogues that removing the helmet directly is not a good thing.
Yeah, you can fry someone's brain if you do it.
And the same for disconnect. So I'll try to analyze the problem.
Well, if you analyze the problem, there should be an option just to stimulate her senses.
Yes.
So, do you want to know the correct order, or do you want to try it yourself?
Yesterday I failed. I've completely. I've followed that stimulation, but I've failed. So if you want to give me the correct order, I can wait.
You will have an option just to
Observe question, activate firewall,
yeah, you can activate the
revitalize.
firewall. You can activate the firewall first.
Yes, it was my option also. Use jamming barriers. Use tracking barriers.
I would go with the jamming because jamming will give you enough time just to help her.
Yeah, I used jamming barriers and I failed. The barriers. Okay. Observe, revitalize, question. Observe the attack signal. Revitalize. That's it.
I would go with the revitalize because it will stimulate her senses and help her get from this limbo.
Awaken her from vice stimuli. Okay. Shake. I think yesterday I've tried to move her arm.
Yeah, and it's the first correct answer to. Is the first correct step. You have to be gentle because if you try shaking someone who is sleeping, and you will get the idea on why you shouldn't do that.
It did not work, and then you have the sense of touch, sense of balance, and sense of smell.
You can start with the smell. You can start with the smell, and there should be an option just to give her a mint gum.
Mint gum. It was maybe not by this order, but it's more or less what I did yesterday. No reaction, then balance or touch.
After the gum, you can do a touch.
Touch. Squeezing your hand, can you feel it? Not a thing. Then I have finished revitalization. Observe the attack signal. Terminate the connection. Question start.
I would go with the finish the revitalization, but I think that it won't be enough.
Yeah, stimulate the sense of balance and fasten Starlet's helmet.
Yeah, let's go with the balance.
Raise Starlet's head or rock Starlet.
I would just raise her head.
Yeah. Gently raise the girl's head. Something happening. I feel dizzy. It means that your inner ear being stimulated. I can stimulate another sense. I'm not sure. I think it will be observe the attack signal, finish revitalization. Okay, let's go to finish revitalization again. Sense of touch, sense of smell. It's again sense of smell and sense of touch.
Let's go with the touch again. I think I have messed up. I think that we should start with the balance and then with the touch. So yeah, it's on me. This time it's on me. It's not you, it's me.
Like a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do not and did not work.
Oh, yeah. So I have definitely messed something up. I wanted
And
to
I
be
lost
cool
her.
and to walk you through it, but it's
No, no worries.
it's just like in the game. You don't have to. You never know who to trust. Basically, it might be my idea just to mess this up, but it wasn't. I just failed.
I
And
have I have
yeah,
no deduction at this point. It will be hard to gain access to gain access to the computer. Okay, I
uh,
can try to get something from the computer.
yeah, you can get the computer. It's on the hack's desk. And you can also check the floor if you want.
Yeah, I've already clicked. Try to open it, of course. Okay, it was there was a alarm. What the hell are you doing? Either start a professional or fuck off. Ignore and leave.
It's your call. It's your decision.
And now the computer. I do not have any passwords.
Yeah, and those grayed out areas are those which will be available if you buy a profession.
Oh, yeah. If I was a hacker, I have one profession, but it's not hacker.
I think you have go with the infotainer.
Yes, yes, it was the only available in the beginning with my points. Yes.
You can try and check the hearth in the bottom of the room.
The to check me to the harp.
Yeah, the hearth on the bottom.
I've already did that. The guy came in and forced me to work.
Okay, but because there is an option just to play the harp.
Yes, I've played it, and now I cannot play it anymore.
Okay.
So how do I?
Uh,
Can I
can you?
enter a password without any risks? There's someone here.
I think he's the assistant
No, it's the
battler.
no the father, Timmy's father.
No, it's not his father. I think it's this is the assistant of Haggis. I
Oh,
would
yeah,
say
it is.
let him have Timmy stay. Mm, I don't know if you can talk with Timmy anymore.
I've used all my dialogue options.
Okay, so basically, let's go to the deduction screen and show me what options you have available.
Not many. Okay, the most important information is missing. There is the place where he is. Yesterday I've unlocked every data here.
If
Okay.
you want to really mess this thing up, you can just tell Haggis to go and look for him
Yeah.
himself, and it will end the case very badly. You can always try the Paradise Beach because Timmy was saying that they were in the Paradise Beach, and the game should progress. Uh, any well, it should progress. So basically, there's no fail state in Gamedec. Whichever option you choose, it will always progress the game, but the outcomes will be very different.
I'll try to
So
I'll try to access if my option is to end badly, no matter, I'll try to access the computer.
yeah, fight till the end.
Oh, I'll enter Panda. Why not? Because why not? Incorrect. Well, you'll be locked for 48 hours. Upon a second fail attempt, the terminal, okay, will be locked. Let me see what the panda lets me do on top of this. Take a closer look. Like the organs move. Well, nothing. The solution, if the solution is here, I cannot find it. Okay, let's try another thing. Let's try to talk to the I'll try to search for him. Ask for access to the computer. Okay, why not?
Yeah, and you have the infotainer, so you can convince this guy just to trust you.
Okay, Axis Mundi. That option was not there. It was a shame. I should have talked to him first. Let me see if I can get to the correct solution here. Access granted. Granted. Honey Bunny. Did something happen? Is he alright? Well, I'll tell the truth. I haven't talked to other people in years. Maybe I will ask or calm her down.
Yeah, basically in Gamedec you have some options how to just stay alive. You can transfer your mind into the digital net, so you can just live in the internet basically. You can even be born in a digital world. There are some digital visual worlds just mm, w- in which purpose of this world is just to raise a child. So a digital child, it won't just progress like a normal child will do. So it will not grow. It will not achieve some new skills. You will have to learn it through a digital world. So you can raise your digital kid inside a virtual world, just as you would do in the real world. You can even find love in a digital world. You can transfer your mind into the digital world, or if you are raised in a digital world, if you have enough money, you can buy a robot, basically an android, and to transfer your consciousness into this robot just to live in a real world. So you can go both ways in Gamedec. It's very well written in the books. So again, if you're interested in how the Gamedec verse looks like, or how the world is constructed, just go and read the books. They are available on Amazon as we speak.
What? Uh, it's anesthesia. Can focus all that. I mean, okay. Logins. Couch one free though. Timmy, couch guest. Mm, ask about free though. Got nothing. I have the correspondence on my deck. Probably some sort of stuff here. Ooh. Control
Yeah,
panel.
if you have the access to the computer, you can just take your time and check the options. Because the more info you get, the easier it will be just to find Fredo.
Okay, she does not let me. I've messed up. She does not like Fredo. What a shame. What can I? Uh, Fiscal reports. Try to convince her with my info trainer. Okay, I have more clues. What can I still see? Logins. Blush. Oh, there he was. The stripper, the message from her.
Yeah, to be honest, I have never seen this conversation before, so you did something different uh, from the people I was watching or from what I was playing before.
Yeah,
So again, I have played this game so many times, and there's still something that I have not seen before.
that's impressive. I have to say, it's impressive. Well, I do not think I have access to anything else. Yeah, I have to leave. And this is, yeah. I've used all the interactions. Let me check
Okay.
what do I have with my deduction. In my deduction, I have. Oh, I have the correct answer. I have the correct answer now. But I've failed so many things in the middle. But that to your point, there's more than one way to find the correct answer. We can
Basically,
we can fly we can fail here or there.
yeah, you can fail talking with Timmy. You can fail taking started out of the virtual world, and you can still have the correct answer for progressing the game. But even if you deduce the Paradise Beach or just tell Haggis to get his son, oh, you can moonwalk. That's impressive. Uh, we'll have to fix that. Yeah, there will be a patch in the next week, so it should patch it up.
Okay, I've run to another step. What was Frido's nickname? Okay, I do not know. But now I should have other options because yes, I have this objective done. Now my quest log is to inform Aegis.
Yeah, you can talk with Haggis, and then you can just use the couch to
Yeah.
go to Twisted and Perverted.
Let's go to the couch. I want to go to the Twisted and Perverted. Okay, yesterday, from now on, I know nothing. I've stopped here because I want to be surprised. I know nothing about from now on.
So basically, if you want a very short introduction, Twisted and Perverted is an adult game in which you combine sex and violence. It is a world constructed to satisfy the needs of some guys who have some very distinguished sexual desires. There's a thing called erotophonophilia, and it combines sex and violence. So basically, in Twisted and Perverted, you can get points for killing someone or for flirting, having sex, etc.
Mhm.
It's a very adult game, so children shouldn't be in the game. But Fredo went here. anyway. Uh, and you will get a lot more points if you combine sex and violence at the same time. And what we did is that basically in every single virtual world you have a unique user interface uh, to match the game. So as you can see, you have levels, you have points, you have some items available. You have a death counter and you have the kills counter.
Oh yeah, I'm
So
seeing it. Yes, I'm seeing it.
if you want, you can just play the game by the rules of this game. Unlocking additional levels will grant you some additional access, or some people will talk with you if you have enough levels.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, there's a guy who is simply looking for his wife
Yes.
because he thinks that she is cheating with some guys in this virtual world, and he just wants to know. But when you said that you are a game deck, he was very interested in hiring you just to uh, just to help him just find her in the game.
Uh,
Yeah, and what is great in game deck is that if you have the information, you can still decide what to do with the information. So
yes. Yes.
if you want, you can share the truth with this guy. You can lie to him because his wife asks you just to lie and pretend that she's not here. Or you can even, I don't know, blackmail him, or tell him that she's not there and then release the information to the media, for example. So even if you know what's the truth, you can still manipulate some people, or you can decide that you don't want to give away the truth for free. You can be a jackass in this game.
I've noticed in the first playthrough.
Yeah, I was playing my first playthrough was with a guy which was a brute, so a pure brutal physical strength, a lot of aggression in his voice. I wanted to roleplay this muscle guy who always wants to be the guy with the most power in the room. He wants to be respected. He wants to be gangsta, etc. And the dialogue between him and the Haggis, so the guy from the office, the guy in the red, the guy who gives you the job, was very different than yours, because Haggis is very stubborn, and Haggis is a man of respect and power, and I was a man of respect and power, and they were just fighting each other in the dialogues just to see who is the strongest one, who is the most respectful guy, who has the most power in the room, and it was interesting just to watch those two giants collide.
I've made another deduction about frat pool. Oh, the time. I have to let you go. I was so absorbed in this game, and that's the problem with RPGs. We just
Yeah,
lost. We lost ourselves. We can lose ourselves so easily just
yeah, but
playing
that's good.
and reading. Um, it's it's almost impossible to be. I was already inside the game and trying to deduct more clues, because that's the power of gaming. It just goes on our head. Even if we are not pro players, we get interested in the story and on the storylines, on the quests. And as you told me previously, if when the game has a strong storyline before, it's based on a well-known story, there it's easier for us to get engaged with the character and with the storylines and with the quests. It was too soon still to understand everything that was around us, but it's a cyberpunk world. We know more or less what to expect. And the game, the art style, the art style is magnificent. I do not. I ended up not to talk a lot about that because you were giving me important informations about the game to me and to everyone watching. So what I can say to you, I only have to. I only have to thank you for being with me to carry me along the way. I know that Gamedec was well received by the community and by the press in general. It was good to see that. Probably you should be proud. You are proud of your team's work. Do and before letting you go, I want to say to wish the best of luck for you in for the game, for IndieX for the competition on IndieX, and again thank you for your kind walkthrough during the game. Do you have
Thank you very
any
much.
final words, Matt, to everyone watching?
Yeah, thank you very much for staying with us. If you have any questions, just write an email or find me on Discord. But basically, it was very enjoyable just to watch how you play, how you pick some different decisions. Because as I said, I have played this game so many times, and you have shown me some things that I have no idea were in the game. So if you like the game deck, find it on Steam, add to wishlist, or simple buy it because it's a really great game. And as our beautiful host show here, it's very easy just to lost the track of time, and that's a good thing because it's a proof that our game is very enjoyable, and yeah, it can hook you up for very long hours. Thank you
Yeah,
very much
yeah.
for having me. It was a great time.
The pleasure was mine. Everyone, see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.